It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Wednesday show, August 9th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. My good friend Jay Towers, Braylon Edwards, said he was watching us yesterday on his new Fire TV. He's got the old Fire stick, watching us through the Fox local app on his TV. How about that? Good afternoon to you, by the way.
What's up, my guy? How you feeling over there?
Oh, real fine now.
Same, feeling good, man.
Real fine.
Just another day, another dollar. It's hump day. It's Wednesday, so here we are. Let's make it happen.
Middle of the week, Tom Mazawey. How you doing, big guy?
I'm good. Parker has us on a 3-shot, and I'm trying to get my headphones to work, and he continues to leave me up on the 3-shot as I was struggling with my headphones. Struggling.
Well, it's good I didn't acknowledge that on the monitor. I rarely look at the monitor unless I have to see it.
Well, I'm back. I'm locked and loaded, and
how's your head feeling?
It's a little bit better than yesterday.
How do you go with the Buccos shirt today?
I felt like it.
Yeah?
It was my first favorite team and the first World Series I ever watched. It's 1971. Went 7. Beat the Orioles.
How about that?
How about that?
The Orioles.
Roberto Clemente.
Speaking of the Orioles, how great, Braylon Edwards, did you see the video last night of the crowd at Camden Yards last night chanting so loud, "Free Kevin Brown"?
Yeah.
Free Kevin Brown. So if you don't know the story, Kevin Brown is the announcer of the Baltimore Orioles who, in the open to one of the games a couple of days ago, said a stat. Just a stat.
Which was on the screen.
A graphic was made, music was played. It was a well-planned out segment on the pregame show leading up to first pitch that the Baltimore Orioles were 0-15-1 in their last 16 series in Tampa Bay.
It's a tropical disaster.
Apparently, Peter Angelos, the owner of the Orioles, did not like that very much and indefinitely suspended Kevin Brown, the announcer of the Orioles. So people are like, why is Kevin Brown suspended? Why is Kevin Brown suspended? It was revealed it was because he said that stat. Angelos didn't like that it was a negative stat, no matter how factual. And the crowd last night went nuts. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. A lot of people getting canceled nowadays, and sometimes it's rightfully deserved. But this is not one of those situations where you're like, and that's not even a canceling situation. This is just the owner being a bum, saying, hey, I don't want anything negative about our franchise because the franchise has been bad for so long. Now you got some good things going for you. Man, you don't want to mention that the past. Bad news that this is what happens. Like, literally, that's a stat. He read a stat. I don't understand why he was punished. I want to know what happens with the money he missed out on. That's what I want to know.
Every single announcer, and I mean every single announcer, went on Twitter or X the past 2 days to display their disgust and unbelievable attitude towards this Baltimore team. They've done this in the past. In 1997, they let the great John Miller walk because then Peter Angelos, who was the owner, now it's his son's team, Peter Angelos didn't like when John would critique a player. So they let him go. He was with them for 17 years. He is now with the Giants for the past 27 years. Of course, he called Sunday Night Baseball. That's what Angelos didn't like. He's like, well, he's not calling all our games. So I didn't like that. He's only calling 125 of our 162 games because of Sunday Night Baseball. He didn't want to pay him. He let him walk. He let Gary Thorne walk. Gary Thorne, we all know him. Great hockey, great baseball, great announcer. Can announce a cockroach race, and I would watch it. Okay? And now you have Kevin Brown. And I've told you about this guy. Remember Home Run Derby?
Yeah.
I watched the Kevin Brown. Remember, what was it called on ESPN? The alternative. It was the StatCast.
StatCast.
Remember you told me I don't want to watch the StatCast?
Yeah.
I watched it to hear Kevin Brown. That's how good this kid is. And he is going to be, I hope the Orioles let him go. Hey, I know a few teams that would love it.
I'd like for him to quit if
Yeah.
it's possible for him to quit and leave.
He'll get a job in a second.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to laugh and say, now, what was that guy you said everybody out there knew? Because I clearly did not know.
Gary
who that was.
Thorne.
Yeah, I've
You don't
never
know Gary Thorne?
Clearly, I don't. I'm asking
You know Darren McCarty's famous goal?
Yes.
That's Gary Thorne.
All right, there it is.
Yeah. He used to be a hockey guy.
Okay,
a lot of
thank
people know him as the hockey guy instead of a Baltimore Orioles baseball
He was the Mets
guy, though.
prior to that.
Yeah, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Majority football players listen. I mean, football guys listen to this show. So
Right.
I was like, say that again. But it makes sense now. I know exactly. I've heard that goal a million times. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
but
that.
kudos to the Oriole fans. And it's really a shame because the Orioles are having such a great year and have such a great players, guys that you could root for. I was kind of rooting for the Orioles as my secondary team here because it has been a little while since they were good. And now I'm rooting for them to get swept out of the first round of the playoffs.
It's bad franchises
Yeah.
do things like this when you got the momentum going. I remember when we first started the show 3 years ago. The Orioles was just as bad as the Detroit Tigers at that time, and then last year they got a little bit better, and this year obviously having the better season of the three. But bad franchises find a way. They find a way to mess up good karma. They find a way to mess up whatever's going on good. Your team's in first place. Your team is killing it right now, and you fire the analysts. Come on.
I mean, look
man.
what Bo Schembechler did when he took the Tigers over.
Fired Ernie Harwell.
Fired Ernie Harwell. You couldn't have made a more stupid, dumb mistake, and thankfully it was righted.
You know what Kevin Brown did too would be equivalent to, Dan Miller saying that the Lions have not won the Central Division or the NFC North since 1993.
It's factual.
It's a fact, and you can't. You know what I mean? And
it didn't come out
so wild, man.
Listen, the TV, their Bally's, whatever it is, it's MASN over there.
Masson.
Yeah, it's Masson.
Mid-Atlantic Sports Network.
Yeah, they put up the stats. So
Good call, Ryan.
it's the directors, it's the producers, it's everyone.
My wheelhouse.
I know. I was excited. I was like, wow.
And they sit there and they're
Just listening.
I give up. It is, whatever.
No, I mean I get it. So how did the producers get to keep their jobs? How did and Michael Kay said this. The producers, the people in the truck, the PR staff that wrote that stat in the notes, how do they get to keep
read
that?
it.
It's kind of like watching Anchorman when he read the F word. It's like, well, they put it up there for him to read. It's not his fault.
Hey, look, yesterday, and we are big Colin Cowherd fans. His guys made a huge mistake yesterday, putting up the quarterbacks that will never win a Super Bowl. And Dwayne Haskins' name was up there, and Colin slipped up and said his name on the air, like just passing, without saying that he's been passed away, just saying that they're not going to win a Super Bowl. And he is getting absolutely slaughtered today. That's another thing, that there's the stat on the TV, and he's reading it. And I know the host has to be ready to know his job and to read and to prep. But that's a slip-up. And they're killing him.
So if you are watching online, just social media lately, you have seen Colin Cowherd trending over the last 20 hours or so since yesterday, and as Maz said, Bray, he is getting wildly I hate to say the word killed because
they want to cancel him.
He's getting crushed.
He's getting crushed.
Yeah, he's
Thank
getting
you.
crushed online
He is
right now.
getting crushed online for talking about quarterbacks that you can't win a Super Bowl with,
Right.
and Dwayne Haskins' name was on the list. If you look at the segment in total context, though, and again, should something have been done? Should he have said something? Maybe in the next break, even after the commercial break, when you don't do it in the heat of the moment, yes. But if you watch that segment, what the segment was about was they looked at quarterbacks who were taken in the first round over the last 10 years. And there were 30 of them. And he divided that list of 30 quarterbacks into 3 different lists.
Right.
Quarterbacks that are elite, quarterbacks that you can win a Super Bowl with, quarterbacks you can't win a Super Bowl with. Dwayne Haskins was on the list of quarterbacks you can't win a Super Bowl with. If you watch the segment back, the graphic was wrong.
Yes, it said can.
It said quarterbacks you can win the Super Bowl with. And just as Colin was reading that name, and I'm not going to apologize for Colin Cowherd, but just as Colin read the Dwayne Haskins name, he notices that the graphic is spelled wrong, and that's what he becomes consumed with.
Gotcha.
That the graphic was spelled wrong, and he didn't want the listeners to misunderstand what the graphic was trying to say.
Correct.
So I think in that mode, I give him a pass on that. Where I
give
do
him a pass anyway.
Well, I give him a pass
It's an
anyway.
accident.
Where you do, where you can become a human being a little bit.
Second segment.
Is the second segment.
Yeah.
Somebody, but again, this has to be a team of people.
Right.
Somebody at Fox Sports 1, somebody on the Colin Cowherd show has to help you up.
Yeah.
Has to reach down and help pull you up out of the mud and say, hey, Haskins isn't here anymore. Let's maybe just reference that when we come back and say, not to be incendiary, but that's what we think.
Yeah, and at the end of it, I agree with you 100%. Like, this is a show that I watch. This is a show that's very classy done. This is a show that's very informational. This is a show that does all their homework. He had a slip up. It happens. There has a slip up. Now he should have come back in the second segment. But they had a slip up as a show. Like, it wasn't Colin Cowherd. It wasn't just a producer. It wasn't just a person who scripted the prompter. They had a failure as a show. It happens. It's okay. They should have come back and moved on from it. But hey, mistakes happen. This is not a mistake. This is a nothing burger for me. They're just undermanned too. I mean, Colin's co-host is J-Mac. J-Mac's is out for the whole week, so he's not there. This happens on that ship, so it's a nothing burger. Things
I bet
happen.
you he said something today about it.
He has to.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know if he did or not. Colin is one that doesn't really go back. He does not go backward. If you don't, what does John Bacon say? He always says the line of the great Don Canham at Michigan, the former athletic director there that hired Bo Schembechler. Don't turn a one-day story into a two-day story. Let the people go 24 hours. Let them crush you. Let them have their say online, and they'll probably forget about. They'll assuredly forget about it. And you
if
might
he apologizes, they'll crush him on that too.
Exactly. Exactly.
They
So
will.
there's no need to apologize today for it.
The haters aren't going to believe
right.
you.
Exactly.
People happen. It's an honest mistake. It happens. And you get in that moment and, like, legitimately your focus was about to be on one thing and instantly it gets switched to another. Like, so it happens. It happens on the show all the time.
There was a word said on this show a couple of weeks ago that, was probably not something we would normally say. And, it was quickly thought, and there's people online that still don't care about anything we got going out. You know what I mean? So it's like things, when you are talking for 10 hours a week, for 20 hours a week, 20 hours of my life per week, there's 24 hours in a day. 20 hours a day I'm talking.
Yeah.
You're going to say something that people are not, you're going to say something that is not great.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is.
Or you see something somewhere and you word it the wrong way, or you mix two words together and it's not the actual word. Like, things happen. Like, get over it.
Yeah. So get over it, everybody. And if you're crushing Colin today, well,
you don't like him,
I'm
don't
sorry
listen.
for you.
Yeah.
Guys, Lions and Giants once again today in Allen Park. Who won the day?
Ooh.
We have some...
May not have been a repeat.
Yep, we definitely have some information regarding that. We'll get to it next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. Your local security experts have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guy one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, technology backed by people, and customized solutions from real experts means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here. 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow.
Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has regulation basketball courts, volleyball courts, and a soccer field that also can be used for 7-on-7 football. K-8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and don't forget that Ermanni and Edwards will be broadcasting from their carnival on August 24th. Come meet the staff and explore your child's new school. The Academy of Warren is now accepting enrollment. So go to academyofwarren.net. That website again, academyofwarren.net.
I can't get Ryan excited about any other game in the Big Ten schedule other than Penn State and Ohio State. He doesn't even want to go to the Big Ten championship.
I would jump all over that just to go to St. Elmo's.
Yeah, I'll probably go this year.
Don't you just take a ride, go to Indy?
Yeah.
It's a nice city.
Indy's kind of a pain of a butt drive. Something about that drive.
I ain't
Indy.
driving.
I'll drive.
Yeah, something about that drive to Indy is a pain in the butt.
It's like 5 hours.
Yeah, but it's like a
weird drive.
Like a nasty
all
drive.
Midwest drives are nasty. You drive Chicago, it's an ugly drive.
but at least you feel like you're
going somewhere.
Yeah.
Driving to Cincinnati.
Oh God.
Let's get there first. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk Michigan football.
We got to
later.
talk like Ohio State used to talk.
Yeah.
They should just talk it.
Yeah, I booked my room already.
I want to make the game first.
Hey, want to give a shout out to Elway in the WoodwardSports.com chat. Woodward Sports is my new favorite sports channel. Well, thanks, Elway. We absolutely appreciate you. However, you are listening, watching Woodward Sports, we say hello. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button as well. Let's get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people. Guys, the way the media sessions go, too, I want to try to keep this in chronological order if I can, because we got some reports last night about the Lions practice with the Giants. Dan Campbell talks before the practice today. So his sound from today is referencing yesterday, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever.
Yes, it
so
totally does.
If we can, before we get to today's workout, I'd like to look at yesterday's workout, because that is where we have all the supporting sound and everything like that. First and foremost, I want to get to Rick Spielman. Rick Spielman, former general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, brother of Chris Spielman, now works for the NFL Network, was on hand yesterday and had this to say about the Lions rookies. Detroit will have 4 rookies. Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, and Branch play significant roles this year, all stuck out at practice today, talking about yesterday. Detroit's defense looks more athletic in the secondary with the free agent additions of Gardner Johnson and Cam Sutton. Just take those pieces right there, Bray. When you talk about rookies making an impact, and there is that video of Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, explosion.
Just totally blowing past a $40 million linebacker. It looks like these rookies are coming alive early.
Yeah, they're coming alive early. And Ryan and Maz, I want to put this out there for the people who understand. just because you draft players in the first round and the second round and they're drafted to be starters, that doesn't mean they come alive right away in training camp. It's not like that right away where you're just getting 4 or 5 guys. That people that come to practice, like Rick Spielman, who was GM for the Dolphins when I came out, I saw him at my training.
He's your quarterback.
He's a freaking quarterback at my pro day. But with that being said, for him to see the 4 guys we drafted in the top 2 rounds to all show up on that day, that doesn't happen normally. That means that the Lions, we keep talking about the mad scientist Brad Holmes going after the right players, knowing the players that he wants to fit into the system for Ben Johnson, for Dan Campbell, for Aaron Glenn, whose name we haven't brought up. It's time to see what Aaron Glenn's talking about on defense. But with that being said, to see Rick Spielman, a guy who has been looking at talent for the better part of 30 years in this league, watching and analyzing and seeing how people fit in the system, for him to see those guys in the first practice, see each one of these guys that we believe are going to be starters this year, to see them stand out, says a lot about what the Lions chose and what they did when they went after those guys, and just making them NFL Network look more right with their assessments of our draft.
Hey, a lot of these guys, and we read the depth chart yesterday, the first unofficial depth chart. A lot of these guys are second team right now. When it's all said and done, most of these guys, most of these cats will be starting for your Detroit Lions.
No doubt, and you got to like how quickly everything is moving along. Also, one of the observations that Spielman came away with yesterday, and we talk about this a lot, guys, it was about the running backs. And here's the quote from Rick Spielman. Quick thoughts from Detroit, New York Giants practice today. This, again, yesterday. Montgomery and Gibbs is an upgrade over Williams and Swift at running back. Aiden Hutchinson was unblockable and will have double-digit sacks. Thibodeau just blended in, not near the effort Hutchinson practices with. So let's take the running back portion of that first. We have all said that we believe that Montgomery and Gibbs is an upgrade over Williams and Swift, and that is a difficult thing to do, but we think they've got it.
Yeah, we definitely do, and I think one of the biggest things that we know is it's the consistency that we believe that David Montgomery has showed you in Chicago, and that we believe Jahmyr Gibbs has showed you at Georgia Tech and Alabama. We believe that the consistency of seeing them on the field together will be 18 weeks plus the playoffs. It won't be here's 2 weeks, then I'll see you in 4 weeks, and then I'll come back for 5th week, but then I'll see you again after the 6th week. Like, it won't be that, so that's already an upgrade. Not to mention, DeAndre Swift was explosive. He's strong. Jahmyr Gibbs, would you see him do that linebacker, like you said, $42 million linebacker, but just what you've seen him do in college as well. That kid is explosive on a different level. He's not only just quick. See, that's what Barry admires about him so much. It's not only that he's quiet like Barry. It's not only that he focuses in like Barry. It's that he's explosive like Barry, but he's faster. Like, when he got to that gear, that was a different speed, man. And so when you can put those two guys on the field at the same time behind this offensive line that was so good last year for the Detroit Lions to only be better, that's what guys get excited, and that's what you want to get excited about.
I told you, Jahmyr Gibbs, he snuck by me in college. I didn't even think of his name when it came to the Lions drafting him with the #1 pick. And then the minute I saw him, and I saw his highlights from Bama and then Georgia Tech prior to that, I was bought in. Then I see that little clip in practice. I know it's just practice. But this guy, man, you can just tell he's got it. And I love his humbleness. I love it. This reminds me of Barry. Same kind of stature, right? I cannot wait to see what they've got. David Montgomery, he was terrific with the Bears. I mean, they used him in different ways. The Lions really, without a doubt, improved their running back situation. Philadelphia, they think they stole DeAndre Swift from us. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, and I told you the big thing for me is, everybody was at first. How do you give DeAndre Swift to the Eagles? A guy,
cheap competition.
100%
right.
cheap competition in the same conference. And one of my biggest things in my thought process, and I could be wrong, but I still think I'm right, they knew what DeAndre Swift is going to be. They knew who he was. They weren't scared to give DeAndre Swift to the Philadelphia Eagles because they didn't think that he could hurt them in the long run. When you think like that, I think you're pretty set on where you're at, and I think you're right.
There's nothing more to add than that.
More.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, guys. We all, everything we hear about Aiden Hutchinson too, and we could take the Thibodeau thing off to the side. I mean, Walker, Hutchinson, and Thibodeau will be linked together forever for their entire careers. Those were 3 defensive ends that came out of the same draft. They went 1, 2, and 5. And they will be linked forever. And I think Jacksonville will tell you that they're glad they got their guy. Detroit will tell you they're glad they got their guy. And the Giants are going to tell you they're glad they got their guy. But by all accounts, it does look like early on that Aiden Hutchinson is going to be that guy. He's going to be that special player that we all think and want and wish him to be.
Everybody got their guy, but everybody wasn't the guy for the other team. And what I mean by that is Kayvon Thibodeau had a pretty good rookie year. Now, he didn't have the numbers that Aiden Hutchinson had, but he had a pretty good year. That defense was very fair, and that defense got them a win in the playoffs and got them to the playoffs. So he had a good year. And Trayvon Walker, he had a good year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He didn't have a big, once again, stat-wise, but you see what that defense was able to do. You see what that team was able to do. They also got a playoff win last year. But those guys aren't Aiden Hutchinson, and they don't fit Aiden Hutchinson. They don't fit the Detroit Lions like Aiden Hutchinson. Kayvon Thibodeau not practicing, taking plays off, sitting in the back. That's not what Dan Campbell wanted out of Aiden Hutchinson. That's not what he wanted out of a premier rush-in leader on his squad. He could have got Kayvon Thibodeau last year, but said he didn't like certain things about him. The things that he didn't like about him, he loves about Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to be on time. He's going to come to practice. He's going to be with his guys. He's trying to get better. He's not trying to take reps off. He's trying to do more than he's supposed to be able to do. That's the kind of coach Dan Campbell is. That's the type of player he was, and that's the type of player he wants. Trayvon Walker, Kayvon Thibodeau, they'll probably have great careers, but they weren't right for the Detroit Lions. Aiden Hutchinson was.
You got anything on Hutch there, Maz?
3 interceptions. Can he get 4?
He impressed the hell out of me last year. I know he beefed up this year. He's a guy that wants to be number one, and I believe we got the right guy. And I really believe he'll get double-digit sacks easily this year.
And we'd like to wish him a very happy birthday.
That's
As
right.
CJ points
There you
out,
go.
it is Aiden Hutchinson's birthday today. Happy birthday, Aiden Hutchinson. Here's to double-digit sacks. You're going to hear from Jared Goff. You're going to hear from Dan Campbell. We'll do that next, and we'll get into what happened at today's practice. Perhaps a much different feel defensively for the Lions. We'll get into that, but first a message from 5 Iron Golf.
Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf, located inside the Cambria Hotel, downtown Detroit, and starting tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow night, 5 to 7, Woodward Sports Network Thursday night golf league. It should be a lot of fun. 13 simulators and all the courses that you want to play in the world. You don't have to go out to Georgia to play Augusta. You can play it right here at the Cambria Hotel at 5 Iron Golf. Join us tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel If you can't watch live, download our podcast. Leave a 5-star review, available anywhere and everywhere you listen to your podcasts. Of course, hey, maybe you want some merch like Braylon's got the Woodward Sports shirt. Go to woodwardsports.com, click on the shop. Braylon Edwards. And again, for people who maybe just joining us, if you're watching live, maybe you're skipping around a little bit, we are going in chronological order of these practices because of the media sessions from today happened before the practice. So Dan Campbell, when he's talking about practice, is referring to things that happened yesterday. We'll get into what happened today in just a little bit, but I wanted to play this for you. This is Dan Campbell's assessment of that first practice with the Giants. I want you to respond to it.
You know, it was good to see. There was a number of our guys. Man, you get that level of competition, and they take it up a notch. And they're guys that you rely on every day. You see it at a practice, and then they elevate again. It's awesome. But this is great work for us. You get some unbelievable evaluation of your players. So, looking forward to another good day.
Almost feel like, Bray, this is like the new way of the NFL training camp too, where yes, the game is nice. Yes, the game is important on Friday night, but you're not going to see Jared Goff a lot. You're not going to see Aiden Hutchinson a lot. You're not going to see Jahmyr Gibbs a lot, probably. The reps you're getting now are so important.
The reps you get, you're absolutely correct. The reps you get are so important, and what happens is, when you go to practice, Ryan, like you get to specifically focus on things you want to focus on. So you get to come out and do one-on-ones, which are the DBs versus the wide receivers, the tight ends versus the safeties, the linebackers versus the running backs, the D line versus the O line. You get individual reps, so you get to go against guys individually. You can't do that when you're playing a preseason game, but when you come and do this 2-day deal with 2 days, 2 different teams, guys can take those one-on-one reps. Guys can get that Kayvon Thibodeau versus Taylor Decker and see what guys are going to do and how they're going to respond to that. Also, you have team periods. Also, you have Skelly periods, which is 7-on-7. So you get this individual work, and you get to focus a lot on the guys that you'll be able to go into. You'll be able to focus a lot on the plays that you want to implement. Like, oh, that play is not going to work. Oh, I kind of like that. Oh, but what if we added this and this here? So in the 2-day period with the Lions and the Giants, or the Colts and the Jaguars, or whoever, you get a chance to really get some individual work for positions, as opposed to going into a game in which it's just one. It's offense versus defense, and defense versus offense, and special teams, specializing in individual drills.
Dan Campbell talked about some rookies too, and we went back to the Rick. We showed you the Rick Spielman bite, our tweet about the rookies. Dan Campbell actually talked about those rookies that stood out as well.
I thought Laporta showed up. I thought Gibbs showed up. Branch did some things. Starling, I saw growth. Those are the guys that really stand out to me. Drummond, once again, out there making plays. So we got a lot of young guys that I feel like are growing.
The one thing about him, when they drafted Sam Laporta is one of those guys that I had. You love watching the tight end position, as the tight end position has gotten better, as it's gotten more focused on, as you got guys like George Kittle and Travis Kelce, guys key in, you want to watch them more. So I watched Sam Laporta last couple of years. I love that draft pick in Sam Laporta. He's going to be that guy. You told me something about a flick of the wrist pass by Jared Goff in practice today in the corner of the end zone. Like, Sam Laporta is going to be a guy that is going to be major for Jared Goff. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All the tight ends that come out of Iowa, they all ballers in the NFL.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, just while we're mentioning it, while we're talking about it, sure. Pat Leonard from New York, doing the play-by-play of today's, not play-by-play, but just calling out some of the bigger things that happened in practice today. Says that Jared Goff just threw a sidearm off platform under a blitz, corner TD to tight end Sam Laporta. Nasty throw. That's just kind of the effort you're going to get. And I want to keep the Goff conversation aside, but just for a minute. But this Sam Laporta kid is going to be that guy, we believe.
He's going to be that guy you believe. Like, one thing he's good at, he's yards after the catch. That means once he catches the football, he turns into a runner. He's looking up the field to try to get as many yards as he can, or he's trying to look to punch the ball in the end zone, and that's going to be key. It's also going to be key because Jameson Williams is not going to be here for the first 6 weeks. We don't know what's going to happen once he gets back. So it's good that Jared Goff will be able to get a nucleus of guys, Sam Laporta, one of those guys, being a stud early on in the year, and it's going to build their relationship so that when Jared Goff does get Jamison Williams, he's already got that relationship with Sam Laporta. It's going to make it good for later on in the year.
Here's what Jared Goff had to say about the Lions' first practice with the New York Giants.
You know, we had the little procedure thing. We might have 2 procedures, pre-snap penalties we'd like to eliminate, and then potentially getting some stuff down the field a little bit. I think they do a good job on defense of keeping it tough, diagnose-wise, but being able to push it a little bit down the field and make some plays further down the field.
The Lions offense reportedly had a really good day yesterday and another good one today.
Pushing the ball down the field, like that's something they don't talk about a lot. They didn't push the ball down the field a ton last year. They threw some down the field to DJ Chark, but he was in and out of the roster a lot last year. Pushing the ball down the field, that means they trust the running backs. That means they're also trusting the offensive line, of course. That means they're going to get the ball down the field. It's going to be exciting. You want to see plays down the field. I want to see Jamison Williams down the field. I want to see Sam Laporta one-on-one with deep linebackers down the field. I want to see Amon-Ra St. Brown. And you want to see Marvin Jones Jr., who you remember, or senior, who remember when he was here. Like, even when he was in Cincinnati, he's always high-pointed the football very well on the sideline. So if they're going to push the ball down the field, I'm popping the popcorn and watching.
Just to flip this to the other side of the ball, Dan Campbell talked about C.J. Gardner-Johnson and his effect on a young player. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a young player in his own right, but having his effect on Kirby Joseph on year 2 now. Here he is.
You know, I think sometimes this may get lost with C.J. He's an excellent communicator as well. Excellent communicator, and so you just kind of see the growth of he and Kirby together, and I believe it's elevating Kirby's game as well. And so you potentially have a couple of dynamic safeties back there.
There you go. 2 dynamic safeties and 2 guys that are really going to help this football team this year, and I think 2 of the guys that are a big reason why you believe this defense can get into a top 15 kind of situation among the NFL as far as top defenses go. If that is the case, and we mentioned this yesterday and throughout, if the Lions can get to the point where they're a top 15 defense, well, this is going to be a damn good football year.
I don't know what this means, but it means something. Every team that I've been on that has had one of those type of defenses, whether it was the 49ers defense with Patrick Willis leading the way, whether it was the Legion of Boom defense, and whether it was the Jets defense. You've always had 2 really good safety, Deshaun Goldson and Dante Whitner with the 49ers, Earl Thomas and Bam Bam Cam with the Seattle Seahawks. And then we had Jim Leonard, who should have been the head coach of Wisconsin, and we had Brodney Poole at one point with the New York Jets. 2 really good safeties that played off each other, were instinctive. They knew when to switch. They knew how to cover for each other. And then you're starting to see that type of and it's early. Like, once again, it is very early, but you have some safeties that are athletic. You have some safeties that are intelligent. And you got some guys that are just dogs that want to play. So I'm getting excited about watching that secondary, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
Hey, you guys know I got to say something about CJ, right?
Uh-oh.
That was my guy. I told you. They bring this guy here, he changes your defense. He's the dog, all right? You got Kirby Joseph. That kid's a dog, but he's learning from the big dog. Now you add Brian Branch, a kid that stuck around for day 2 of the NFL draft after he was not picked in round 1. He wanted to come on out and give a bear hug to Roger Goodell, and he did. That just shows you the kid, what he's got in him. Then you bring Cam over from Pittsburgh, a winner, knows how to play. It's like sky's the limit for this team. You bring back a Tracy Walker, Jerry Jacobs. I can't wait to see these guys. They just got to mesh, right? They got to mesh, and why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they mesh?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see why they wouldn't mesh. And the thing that gets me excited about the places is where they come from. Like, it's where they come from. Like, you look at that defense and how it's constructed. Kirby Joseph, the secondary in Illinois, really good secondary coach over the last 4 or 5 years in there. Witherspoon, who's out in Seattle now. You look at Cam came in from the Steelers. You got Mosley, who's not playing yet. Emmanuel Mosley's not playing yet. He's still injured, but he's there at practice. C.J. Gardner-Johnson comes over from the Eagles team last year. All these teams, what they have in common is they play well together. The Eagles play well together. The Steelers play well together. Kirby Joseph, that secondary, and Illinois play well together. Aiden Hutchinson, his team, when he came from University of Michigan, they played together on defense. That's how they got this thing started in Ann Arbor. Everybody that's on that defense, They're used to playing together and having success together. So that's what gets me excited about that defense.
And you know what? We still got
Brian
Emmanuel
Branch.
Mosley, for crying out loud.
Yep.
We haven't even said a word about
Brian
him.
Branch, Alabama.
Yeah,
What
when he gets better, look out.
Yeah.
Speaking of the defense, yesterday it was reported that they had a pretty decent day. Today, not so much. Here's the notes from Connor Hughes, who is a NFL writer in New York. Practice is over. It was a very, very good one for Daniel Jones and the offense. Quick note, I had Giants quarterback Daniel Jones going 12 of 17 with 5 touchdowns in 11-on-11 drills. Those 2 scores came inside the 5-yard line, repping the red zone. Keep in mind, he was 8 of 11 with 2 touchdowns in 11-on-11 drills outside the 25-yard line. And again, a lot of these are situational. You know, they're not going like playing a game. It's situational football, red zone football, 25-yard line, and so forth. Jones was going crazy, according to Isaiah Hodgkins. That's the wide receiver for the Giants. He was 6 of 7 with 2 touchdowns on 7-on-7 drills. That is what it is. Danny Bounce Back Day, they're calling it in New York, Bray.
Whenever you have a day in day one where the defense gets after you in training camp around this time, it's always because it's easier for the defense day one. It just is. Like in day two, it's typically when the offense are going to make adjustments. They're going to go watch film. They're going to say, this is what I saw in this coverage. This is what I saw when they slant this way. Look how they covered LaPorta on these plays. Like you're going to go back and make your adjustments. And the offense typically on day two is going to come to play. And they're typically going to have a better day. So don't make too much of that. They had a good day one. The offense, Daniel Jones, don't get me wrong. I mean, last year, he only threw 5 interceptions. He did get his team to the playoff, and he did win a game. You're talking about a playoff winning team, so it's not common that those guys come back and have a better day on day two because you go back, you watch the film, you make the adjustments. So don't let it bother you about the defense. You win some, you lose some. But they made some adjustments. If they had a day 3, I guarantee you the Detroit Lions would win a day 3 and be up 2-1.
They had to show up today, right?
Yeah.
They did.
They have to show up today.
They were getting dogged in New York.
Yeah.
Dogged.
And I know Brian, not to cut you guys off, Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator when I was with Cleveland in 2009. He under Eric Mangini, that's his boy. They all just sitting under Bill Belichick. Brian Daboll is not the kind of he's an old school coach, man. That he's gonna get in that room once there's no cameras on. He's gonna get after those guys. Last night, I guarantee you, he gave those guys an earful, including Danny Nichols.
Hell yeah.
Who turned into Danny Dimes today. So it's a part of football. It's early in training camp. It's fun. Don't make too much of it.
Yeah, and one of the things that he said too, this New York writer, was that Tuesday was a bad one for Jones, but it wasn't so bad. The throws were there, he just didn't make them. It wasn't like the Lions defense dominated it or anything. Jones simply didn't make the throws that were open in front of him. So that doesn't make me feel that not great either, though.
That's a New York guy looking.
I understand, but I would assume that the New York guy would be even more critical. Football is the only sport where the writers are going to be honest. Football is the only sport where the writers are going to be honest and not like essentially PR for the team.
But it's also
that's my opinion.
That's a good take.
That's true. It's also New York, and it's also a lot of people that don't believe he was worth the contract and the money anyway. So it's easy for them to kind of like slate it that way to be like, I mean, and the throws were there, but he just wasn't making them. A lot of people don't believe he's deserving of $42 million, so it could be that as well.
Hey, the people in the chat have asked about Jameson Williams. I believe he had a pretty decent day, beat a lot of receivers, but he was playing with Nate Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld just couldn't get him to football.
Oh, the Nader.
Just couldn't get him to football. So again, you take that with a grain of salt too. He beaten his defensive back by several yards, would have had a touchdown, but Sudfeld couldn't get it to him. So look, that's going to be rectified as well. And J-Mo's in a spot where you want to get work, but maybe it's to the point where they're not willing to take away from a guy that can actually play in the first 6 weeks. You know, when he comes back around week 3 or week 4, when he can practice with the team, that's when you start getting those reps.
Yeah, the type of work that he's going to be putting in right now, you can't really quantify as a fan because it's not going to show up in what you read about. It's going to be, is he getting in and out of breaks? Is he beating the defender and how much? Is he going exactly where he's supposed to on his motion? Is he getting the right depth? Is he coming back to the football? It'll be little things like that that only the coaches can pay attention to until week 4.
No doubt about it. Let's see see here. Andrew Siciliano of NFL Network talked to Jared Goff about the team's expectations. Going to play that for you a little bit. Then I want to transition to an ESPN article that they wrote about Jared Goff being the future quarterback, the present and the future quarterback for the Detroit Lions. We'll get to that coming up next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Fairway Packing has been your source for the best meat in and around the city of Detroit for over 60 years. They provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. I actually had a couple of steaks from there last night. Grilled those up when I got home. Fantastic, incredible. I can't eat anybody else's meat other than this now. I'm spoiled.
You can't beat their meat.
You can't beat their meat. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks or order online. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Source cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Woodward Sports Network on a Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's having a great day out there. A little bit hot, but this summer's been great.
Yeah. It's very hot today.
It has been great, man.
But it's very hot today.
Yeah. Well, it's
okay.
okay.
It's like in your face hot.
Yeah, we're doing okay, Maz. We're doing okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, Jerry's coming to town.
Jerry Seinfeld's coming to town.
In case you guys want to know, October 28th. Fox Theater.
You gonna be there?
Oh God, I never miss him.
Yeah. How much is a Jerry Seinfeld ticket?
Minimum 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't got that kind of money.
100 up.
100, 445 plus fees. 100. Yeah. You can sit in there for, $109. $88 if you want to go up there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Don't matter where you sit.
No, it don't matter where you sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the Fox Theater. Haven't been there in a long time.
No doubt.
That's talking about Dave Chappelle?
No, Jerry Seinfeld coming to the Fox Theater.
When?
He is coming
October 28th.
October 28th.
Michigan's bye week.
Chappelle will be here tonight.
Really?
October 9th, yeah. I think he's at the Fox too.
Wow.
Or LCA, one of the two. Michigan's bye week. I take it.
I bet you Chappelle's at LCA.
Jerry Seinfeld. You going, man?
You know, I saw Seinfeld in Florida back in April.
I know you did, but you didn't
say anything. I didn't say anything. I'm not going to bother the guy.
For me.
He walked right by me. Unbelievable.
You wrote me right away,
I was
too. I'm like, go see him.
Didn't say one word. Just
I figured you get the video and say, hey, say hi to Maz.
Oh my gosh, that would be unbelievable. I should have done
It's
that.
funny. It's like it's two types of celebrities or two types of entertainers of note. It's the people that know who they are and they make themselves open to when you come like from a couple feet away. They let you know the energy, like, yeah, you can say something to me, we can take a picture. Or there's the ones that, from 3 feet away, they give you that energy, like, you say something to me, it's going to be some problems.
He had 2 guys with him opening doors for him.
2 muscle men?
Well, at least one of them was. The other guy was a little guy, like his manager or something like that.
His homeboy.
Yeah. And the other one was a little bit bigger guy.
Massapequa?
Yeah.
What was the sandwich shop that he was going to?
I forget where we were. I was in West Palm. I'm not familiar with West Palm. We were at a little.
Didn't you tell me tickets for that small venue were like $500 and up?
Minimum 1,000.
1,000.
Minimum 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's West Palm though. Like that's West Palm money.
That's Seinfeld area.
Yeah, 100%.
No doubt. No doubt.
Barry Madoff.
Bernie Madoff?
Bernie Madoff. That was his area.
It's a great documentary on that.
That is a good one.
Yeah. Guys, I want to talk a little, obviously, continue on with the Lions here. Jared Goff sat down with Andrew Siciliano and Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network. These guys just camped out. Right.
This is a short one.
This is a minute long. Here's a sense of what their expectations are.
Yeah, you feel it. Sure, you feel it. I don't know if it's pressure, but you feel it. I think Dan put it perfectly the other day with the wind under your sails type of thing. Like
wind beneath your wings.
Wind beneath your wings.
Do you think he's a big Bette Midler guy?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. But no, I think it feels that way. And I think our job is to know that the work needs to be done regardless of what anyone thinks, because 12 months ago, 9 months ago, they were telling us how bad we were. So, now if they're telling us how good we are, they're probably not right on either one. It's probably somewhere in the middle, and we have to prove them right every week.
Does momentum carry over at all?
I think, in some ways, yes, because we feel like we have a lot of the same players. But at the same time, we start at 0-0, and we know that. And we play a really good team with the Chiefs coming out the gate. And it's, you have to find your way back into that hot streak that we were on. You don't just start up in that hot streak again. We got to kind of find it again.
Have you shown your guys yet the 54-51? You're 1-0 against Patrick Mahomes, for the record.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen that. That was a long time ago. I've been in this league a long time. That was 2018 now, and it feels like forever ago.
I just love their attitude towards what the expectations are, and it's being set at the top, being set by the head coach. No, this is not pressure, and we're going to talk about Hard Knocks in just a little bit. But that's kind of the message that Robert Saleh gave his team as well. Look, when you have expectations, you can go one of 2 ways. You can cower and it can become too overwhelming for you, or you can embrace them and you can ride that wave and you can, I'm the top dog and everybody's coming for me.
That's what Rex told Braylon.
And that's exactly right. And I think if you're a coach, you rub off on your players. Whatever the attitude of your coach is, that's the attitude of your players. It's team in and team out, no matter what.
In 2011, as cliche and as corny as I thought it was, there was something that was created, and now you hear it all the time at the big house. Who's got it better than us? That started in 2011 with the 49ers, and that was Jim Harbaugh's mantra for that team that year. And it was like, who's got it better than us? And everything was who's got it better than us in terms of the linebackers, in terms of the wide receivers, in terms of the quarterback, in terms of the depth, in terms of the weather, in terms of, he would just go on and on and on. But who's got it better than us? And also, why not now? Why not us? He was coming to turn that team around that hadn't been to the playoff in some time, and he had the players to do it. And he got a message across, and the guys started buying into the message, man, and they bought in, and you saw what that team did. We got to the NFC Championship, and we lost to the Giants. Those guys bid in, man, from the very word go, and I think that's what you're seeing with Dan Campbell and his guys and Jared Goff. Those guys are buying in, and they understand what the mission is, and nobody's detouring. Nobody's on their own. Everybody is locked in. All 53 once the season starts. Everybody's locked into the same goal.
One of the things with Goff, too, and I read you that tweet from the New York guy today. What did he say?
Great throw.
Yeah, it was nasty throw. Talked about how Goff, I just want to get it so I can be accurate. Jared Goff just threw a sidearm off platform under a blitz, corner touchdown to tight end Sam Laporta. Nasty throw. Jared Goff is going to have a huge year this year. He absolutely is. And the Detroit Lions, and again, you got a whole season to play, and this thing is going to play out. But one of the things that ESPN.com did is they took a look at the quarterback landscape over the next 12 months to see how this thing is going to play out. And they talked about the Lions in here. The most likely outcome is that the Lions have a solid year with Goff as the starter. They make the playoffs for the first time in 7 years and confront a non-obvious decision next season, next offseason, about whether and under what terms to extend Jared Goff's contract. In this scenario, my best bet is that they'd find some sort of short-term extension solution with Goff, who seems to like it there.
Yep.
So would it be ideal to maybe give Jared Goff 2 years, $90 million, 2 years, $100 million? Would he take that? Would he want a longer-term deal? Is that something that would be acceptable to Jared Goff, just as part of this, the long shot outcome? And I don't know if we have this, Parker, to pop up for the people or not, but the long shot outcome, the Lions win their division for the first time since 1993 and make a deep playoff run. Ben Johnson becomes the head coach of the Washington Commanders, and the Lions make Goff one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league next season.
Yeah, look, I've been watching Winning Time season 2 just started, episode 1's out, and one of the big things that they're in the process of trying to do right now, they're trying to sign all their free agents, all their guys that are going to be up next year when free agent starts, which will be in 1982. They're trying to sign their guys. Now they're trying to get ahead of the curve, and I think this is what the Lions could potentially do, get ahead of the curve with Jared Goff. You know what the money is for quarterbacks. Like, you know how big the money is going to go up. It's eventually going to get to 55 and then 60 and then 62. If you want to make a 2-year extension plan on Jared Goff during the season, I don't see why you don't do it, because I think he is your guy. I think we've been fighting this fight on who Jared Goff has been for the last 2.5 years. And I think it's getting to the point where you're going to see he is the guy. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl with 4,600 yards and 32 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He's the same guy that went out to L.A. and outdo Patrick Mahomes and beat them in one of the best Monday Night Football games ever. He's starting to get that confidence back. And when Jared Goff finished the season last year and he looked at what he had accomplished, because I guarantee you he's one of those guys that's like, he's just in the season. Like, once the season's over, he finds out what his stats were and what he did. He went back and looked and said, whoa, lowest interception input ever. Second most touchdowns ever, best QBR ever. I see what we were able to do in those last 10 games. No turnovers in the last 10 games. Like, I don't care how humble you are. I don't care how nice you are, how good of a guy you are. There's moments when you look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm that guy. And I guarantee you Jared Goff has had that moment. He's humble about it. You'll never know it. But he's had that moment where he realizes he's that guy. And, Brian, I think you're absolutely right. He's going to have a big year.
Is he playing? Does he have another year on the contract?
Yes, he is.
So we got him for 2 years.
Well, yes, but after this year, you would extend him. He's not going to play on a lame duck quarterback deal next year.
Zach Martin is a guard, and he's not going to play on his remaining 2-year deal. A quarterback at that high level definitely wouldn't do it.
I don't think he'll take a small deal.
I don't think so either, unless he just is so committed to playing here in Detroit. For $45-50 million, which, to be honest with you, if they make it to the Super Bowl, if they make it to the NFC Championship,
he earned it.
You bet your bottom dollar I'm paying him $45 million a year.
I pay him more than that if they made it to the Super Bowl, but I'm just saying, like, he seems like the guy. He and Brad Holmes' relationship. Remember, when everybody else was trying to figure out who the quarterback was for the Detroit Lions, there were 2 guys that were not. It was Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. I would maybe say 1 guy. Dan Campbell was trying to figure himself out. Brad Holmes always stuck that Jared Goff was the guy. And then after last year, I believe that Jared Goff could be the guy. So he's the guy. Like, what are we even trying to figure out?
Well, you're going to find out about Hendon Hooker as well.
We will. But that's only if Jared Goff doesn't work out.
I'm just saying, you're going to see him in practice. You're going to see him next year, maybe getting a game or 2. He's already an older rookie, as we all know.
Right.
So how long does he want to stick around? I guess it really doesn't matter. He's signed the deal. He's here, I guess. I just don't know if Goff would take a 2-year extension. That's all.
Well, I mean, he and Brad Holmes seem to be like they're boys. He see what the Detroit Lions have helped him do. It goes also back to being in love with a franchise, like understanding helping a franchise. Look at what Patrick Mahomes does for the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at what Aaron Rodgers just did for the New York Jets, giving money back. Like, he seems like the guy that gets it. Like, I think everybody is about to start being quarterbacks that get it. So you mix in that part with the part that this is where he figured it out. I don't think he's going to – you're looking at a guy that's going to hold you hostage. I'm looking at a guy that's going to ask for a fair deal, and I see a team in Detroit that's going to give him something that's even more than fair.
No doubt about it. Guys, I want to take a break. When we come back, Hard Knocks was last night. And one of the first things that I thought of was about Jordan Love, and I'll tell you why. We'll do it next, but first, a message from Mark White.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-by-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company. Your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more, visit OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground. Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, Fox2Detroit.com, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. However you are consuming, we're hitting them all, Bray.
I see.
We got them, baby.
Don't forget your Roku stick, right?
Oh, your Roku. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Fox Local.
If you have a Roku,
Palm Pilot,
or a if you have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, or Apple TV. You could download the Fox Local app. It's totally free. Just put it as one of your tabs. From 2 to 4, you can watch us right there on your television. And, of course, you could do so on YouTube as well.
And they can watch you in the morning.
All those options. Yeah, you could watch me in the mornings.
I've seen your handsome face before.
Absolutely.
How was the 9 today?
It was good. We had Chef Bobby there for both hours today. So we had...
The who?
How you say his last name? Nara?
Nara.
Okay.
Yeah, we had steak at 9. We had fish at 10.
Oh.
We had some crab cakes, some shrimp.
You know what I found out?
Three course?
You know, my daughter Abby works at Hook.
Right.
And last night we were just talking about Lions because Lily, my daughter Lily, is working with the Lions this upcoming season in their marketing department. She's out there, throwing T-shirts out, helping people. You probably have met her, guys. You probably don't know you met her, but she's at all the practices. So we're talking about it, and I'm like, did you meet the crack man yet? And Lily's like, what's he look like? So I take out my phone, and I show her. And she's like, oh, my God, yes. There's a lot of guys that kind of look like him, but he is a one-of-a-kind. And then Abby sees him, and she's like, he comes to Hook.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
He brings his Lions, his truck, his F-150, which is gorgeous, and he's got his bus as well, the Lions bus. And we were just talking and asking about him. I'm like, he loves Ryan. He loves us guys here. He's just the salt of the earth. And We got to have him on the show here again.
Oh yeah, we'd love to have him
the
in
crack
here.
man.
He could sit in studio and what's the name of the Fox Local channel? It's Fox Local, and then
Fox
you look
Local.
for Fox 2 Detroit.
So I got that on mine, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you don't have, if you're like watching in Texas or North Carolina or whatever, it's still called Fox Local, and then you look for Fox 2 Detroit, and you can watch us there from 2 to 4.
Mine just pops up now. Like I said, I've been watching for so long on my Fire Stick. Mine just pops up on one of the bars. So like as I scroll down to the third one where Fox Sports Network is, where I watch Colin. Like if I scroll one over, then it's you guys and Fox too. So I just
look at that.
It's a little easy.
Awesome. That's
Easy
great
peasy.
stuff. Absolutely. I see Cody saying R.I.P. Uperman. Absolutely. We think about Uperman, who passed away, one of the great Lions fans.
no
Always
doubt.
drove down from the UP.
Oh, yeah.
Every Lions game, never missed one.
Don't forget the Brow. Long live the Brow.
Absolutely.
For the
Him
Pistons.
too. No doubt. Guys, Hard Knocks last night, as I heard the music, there was something a little, I was like, I was hoping, it was just such a great experience last year to get an inside look on your Lions team, and I know they're doing it kind of with Inside the Den episodes here and there, but pretty good stuff. I'll tell you, Aaron Rodgers is a completely different human being.
He is.
In Gangrene. Completely different human being. Likable, teammates love him. The teammates are in awe of him too.
Yeah.
When he came out on the field, everybody that's mic'd up is like, do we have that?
We do.
Oh, here we go.
Congratulations again.
A-Rod, take them all the way, baby.
Got
What's
you.
up? Take
Got
them all
you.
the way. All right, take them all the way, man.
Cool experience right here, man.
You'll be here one day.
Hey, man, that's the plan.
I'll be real old and gray when that happens, but
Hey, that's what I think about, bro. Like, you know, my mom always tells me, like, she always used to tell me to stay a kid as long as I could. And it's like, if I'm really gonna do this, bro, I'm gonna be older, bro. Because, you know, like, I got aspirations of playing in the league for 40 years.
it's gonna be a long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a 40-year-older.
Plays too.
Yeah, and that was a scene with Sauce Gardner, but even when he walks out to his first practice with the Jets,
Oh, yeah.
you have all these different teammates, Bray, talking about, like, damn, that's Aaron Rodgers, that's just different. You know what I mean? Damn, that's Aaron Rodgers. Damn, that's Aaron Rodgers. Like, I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old when you were in the league. You know, I mean, it's awesome. It's just awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, let's not mislabel this man. You're talking about a 4-time MVP. You're talking about Super Bowl MVP, which means he has a Super Bowl title of his own. A guy that's always done it his way, and a guy that for the last 12 years people have been calling him the best thrower of the football. Whether I agree or not, it doesn't matter. That's what people have been calling him. So, Warren Moon and Dan Marino, but that's another story. But he is that. Like, he has that aura. And I feel like one of those things in Green Bay, he just wanted to have that aura. I feel like he wanted that aura so much. Like, he wanted that to be the look versus getting good with the team versus just, you know, talk to the team, doing some extra sessions with the quarterbacks, understanding how it takes to win. When they won, the one thing I will say, I don't think they should have won a Super Bowl that year. That's neither here nor there, but they were a team. That was the most happy I've ever seen Aaron Rodgers in terms of Clay Matthews was balling that year. You had A.J. Hawk was still on that team. Charles Woodson was on that team. Yeah, Randall Cobb was on. Like, they were a really, really, really good football, but he had his boys there. That's when he felt good. After everything started going awry, you started to see this different Aaron Rodgers get worse and worse. I think he's gotten back to that. Like, I think he's back to that. I think he's like, you know, I don't have to want to be perceived as I just want to go out there and play football. I just want to go out there and have fun. I want to go out there and coach a little bit. I mean, that's the most coaching I've ever seen him do. I think it's going to be great. When you see the quarterbacks that win the championship, Patrick Mahomes, he has the best time with his guys than anybody in the NFL. When Brady was winning with the Patriots, those guys were having fun during the season, after the season. That's what you're starting to see with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, just like you see with Jared Goff and Detroit Lions. Teams that have fun with their quarterbacks and their nucleus, those are guys that are it at the end. Jimmy Garoppolo may have never won the Super Bowl, Maz, but tell me a team that doesn't love a guy more than they love Jimmy Garoppolo. They've been to the Super Bowl. They've been to 2 NFC titles. You got to be likable. You got to be a team to get there.
Hey, some of the time, you know, when they get the offensive huddle and they're breaking up practice, and he's talking, and he's telling these guys, look, tomorrow, sit with someone else at lunch. Sit with a different guy. Learn your teammates. Learn everyone's name. Let's go out together. Let's do things together. This is Aaron Rodgers talking. And it just, I don't know, it gave me the chills. Because I've always loved the guy. And I know he was a Packer and he beat the hell out of the Lions. I know that. But I just love greatness. And to me, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Yes, he's only won 1 Super Bowl. I understand. Yes, they've come up short when they've won 13 games, knocked out of the playoffs. I get it all. I really believe he's in the right spot at the right time of his career. I believe the Jets are for sure going to be in the Super Bowl within the next 2 years.
I agree with everything you said, and I can even bring myself coming around to believe the last thing you said, because I want them to. I am a Jet at heart, so I want to see.
They'll probably have you there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Hell yeah.
Everything you said is right. The other thing I just noticed in that video, the franchises that can get the players to come back, and I know it was a Hall of Fame game, and I understand that's why Revis was there, but Revis is going to be at practice next week. Revis is going to be at games during the season. You see that interaction with Sauce Gardner and Darrelle Revis? Kind of reminds you of that interaction between Jahmyr Gibbs and Barry
Curtis Martin
Sanders.
was there too.
Curtis Martin, a little interaction with Breece Hall.
Yep.
And when you can bring your greats to come back to be with greats, and I get it, they played years ago, but they still represent that franchise. And no matter how young guys get, they understand that. Like when I got to the Browns, my bad, Ryan.
No, you're good.
When I got to the Browns, even though Paul Warfield played 1960s, I still knew who the hell Paul Warfield was. It still was the mystique about playing for that team, that franchise. So that's good to see for the Jets, just like seeing Jahmyr Gibbs and Barry Sanders.
Are you going next week?
I'm going to practice Wednesday.
So you know how they had Curtis Martin last night?
Yeah.
We got to get Braylon and Garrett Wilson back-to-back 17s.
Hey, I'll talk
Michigan,
to our
Ohio
guys
State.
from
You got to
HDL.
call our guy.
I'll talk to our
we need
guys.
a shot of
100%.
Braylon in there. Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that's what we absolutely.
I tell you, you got to tell them I'm going to be there. So I'm definitely going to be there. They got
Yeah.
me doing some stuff. I think I sent you the schedule. I'll send it to you.
I'm coming home that day too, damn it. I'm coming
What
back
day
here
you going,
that
Bray?
day.
I'm going Tuesday night, but I'm going to Wednesday's practice, and then I'm coming back Wednesday night.
Unbelievable.
Hey,
Oh,
man,
yeah, you
look,
should
man.
definitely be on episode
When
3.
your team
Yeah, you should. He should absolutely be on episode 3.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Did you see Liev Schreiber come in on the helicopter?
Yeah.
The voice.
He did ours.
He calls it the voice of God. Aaron Rodgers calls him. He is the voice of Hard Knocks, and of course, a great actor in his own right. But he was just having the time of his life. It's the first time he's ever watched a Hard Knocks practice.
Really?
And he's been doing it all these years.
Isn't that something?
Which is funny because he met Mark Sanchez. Like Mark loved him because he played Sabretooth in the X-Men movies, and Mark was just like gushing over him. And then they got a chance to meet, but he didn't watch our practice. You're absolutely correct.
What's that show on Showtime he plays? Long time.
Donovan, Ray Donovan.
Yeah, there you go.
Great show.
Hey, one of the
Ray
things
Donovan.
about that, though, just last thing I'll have to say about the Jets is Aaron Rodgers is coaching 3 different quarterbacks that's in the room with him. And I'm thinking to myself, if Jordan Love is watching that, how many times has Aaron Rodgers, over the course of 4 years or whatever it is, 3 years,
We really don't know. do we?
coach? No, we don't. But
we don't, but we do.
we do.
We don't, but we do.
We don't, but we do.
We
It's
don't,
so
but we
well
do. 'Cause
said.
Players have even talked about it.
Did
like,
you see how what's his name? The number 1 pick from a couple of years ago.
Garrett Wilson?
No, the quarterback.
Oh, Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson. You could see he's like a sponge,
Total-
soaking up everything that Aaron Rodgers
Totally different guy.
is show him how to do it. Aaron's like, you take the snap, you come back here. If you don't have a guy right here, you're turning, you run. And the kid's like emulating him. It's it's cool watch, guys. You should give it a shot.
You know what's so funny is like you get in those situations where guys are, and this is just guys. This is just the natural nature of guys. Guys are in the locker room. He's talking to some other young guys probably for the Jets. And when they announced they're getting Aaron Rodgers, he was like, "Man, you gonna come take my job?" Blah blah blah. You talk tough until Aaron Rodgers walk in that room. He like, "Man, there he is. That's that man right there. Mama, they go that man."
I forget what NFL guy said it today, but he tweeted out, "I watched Hard Knocks last night. The Jets are definitely winning the Super Bowl." You feel. Guys, we'll go around the NFL. What's happening out there? Johnny Manziel, too. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 55 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC. Same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on 9 Mile, on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Ermanni and Edwards with Mass. Second hour of the show, 312. Parker, JB, also with us along for the ride. JB missed you yesterday, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, we just had that remote at filming, so, just got to be there, and then, you guys hung out here with, Broder was here? Or
no,
Lucas?
we had Luke.
Oh, you had Lucas, yeah.
Lucas did good.
Yeah, Lucas did good. I know he's working, trying to go back
Lucas
and forth between the
yesterday.
audio booth and TD booth, so he's good.
You know what's so funny is I asked you that question. I really was engaged, and I really want to know how you were doing. And then I also realized I didn't have my earpiece in, so I didn't hear
you didn't hear anything I just said. So.
I can tell you he's okay.
I appreciate that, man.
He's fine. He had something at the dealership yesterday, and he's happy Luke was here.
There we go. Appreciate the translation.
You're up to date.
JB.
Hey. Around the NFL we go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
I'm
glad
waiting
you're
on
here.
you. I'm waiting on you. I had to go to the bathroom.
I know. I'm
man.
glad you're here.
I'm sorry,
It's
Tom.
okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's all
You
good,
can't hold
man.
your beef for a couple hours. It's all right.
So there
Yeah,
is
big
something.
guy right here.
There is something under this desk.
Right.
Okay. Every time you go like this, it jogs some wire under the desk,
electricity.
and it pulls your, and it destroys
jolts you?
my ear. I don't know. You're barely even touching the desk.
All right.
It's like you have to like do the show with your hands like this.
Okay. All right. So you ready to go around the NFL?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go around the NFL. Let's go around the
Hey,
NFL.
I'm going to start you off with a little something from the Johnny Manziel. It's on.
Now you gotta watch it. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
He's got
I
a
wanna
special
watch that.
going on. Did you know Johnny Manziel did not do a stitch of homework?
Cap.
It's not surprising.
Not a stitch of homework.
That's Cap. Do we have the video of him
We
saying?
do.
Watch it and I'll tell you what he means.
Their GM's calling me going, he doesn't watch tape. I'm like, well, he's got to watch some tape. It's like, EB, his iPad hours is 0.00.
0.
So side note, his agent is great, by the way. Like, you gotta watch it. Like his agent is great.
That's not Drew Rosenhaus.
No, that's not.
Okay.
No,
Is he a well-known guy or no?
He is in different circles.
Uh-huh.
Like he is. People know him.
Okay.
He doesn't necessarily have. He's a really good agent though. The best thing about him was his plan, his program for Johnny Manziel.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta watch it. Now, what Johnny means by he says 0 lick of film, he didn't watch any film, because that's preposterous. Because being in college system, a Cliff Kingsbury system, who I despise Cliff Kingsbury, but that's neither here nor there. But when you watch it, what he means is he didn't take anything home. Like he didn't go and put any extra hours in. He wasn't taking home the DVD cartridges and watching it at home. I refuse to believe that an NCAA quarterback can watch no film, because 1, you got to watch film before practice. 2, you watch film after practice, and 3, you watch film individually with your coaches. And being a quarterback, I know he watched some film with Cliff Kingsbury. Now, with that being said, I know he ain't doing anything extra. Like
when he goes home, he didn't take that iPad home. 0 hours.
0 log, and that's what it means. 0 logged in hours. That's when you leave the facility and log in on your own. And he definitely didn't. I will agree with that. He didn't do none of that.
You think Kyler Murray went to that school?
I think it's part of that.
That sounds accurate now, right?
Yeah,
the
but-
Kyler Murray knock.
100%. And you know what it is Mark Sanchez, former quarterback of mine, I talked about it earlier today, is they watch film, or he watched this film with Cliff Kingsbury. He watched the bare minimum, what he had to watch. But what he was able to do, you can't account for.
Right.
A lot of that backyard football stuff, you can't account for. You can't account for the things that Josh Allen can do, or Lamar Jackson can do, or what we watched Justin Fields be able to do last year. But where all those quarterbacks got that confidence, Johnny Manziel was, and I'm not going to say the first one because Vince Young, there's been way ones before that. But Johnny Manziel was the first one where it just looked like there was no game plan. It looked like he was just dropping back and doing what he wanted to do. And I think that let college coaches trust quarterbacks and players a little more. Like, you know what? Just let Kyler Murray do what he wants to do. That's why we bought him here. Just let Baker Mayfield do what he wants to do. That's why we bought him to Oklahoma. Let Justin Fields do what he wants to do. That's why we bought him to Ohio State. I think Johnny Manziel gave those college coaches that hope, like, if this little can do it, just give him the hope and let him go. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to pose a question to you. Parker, don't put up the tweet yet. Fox on NFL put out the top franchises that cost the most money, the most valuable franchises. Who do you think, I'll give you guys each a chance, are the top 2?
Dallas
Yankees
Cowboys.
and Lakers and Cowboys.
No, this is NFL.
Oh, Cowboys.
NFL.
Dallas Cowboys.
Most expensive team. Okay, you got Cowboys. Who else?
And
Patriots
hold on.
3.
I just want the top 2.
The
49ers.
Raiders.
49ers or Steelers?
No. Different coast.
Is Dallas right?
Nope.
Dallas is correct.
Yeah, that's number 1 brand. I said
Put it up.
Chiefs. Oh, how do we forget Mahomes?
No. You got the wrong
one up.
Oh,
that's the wrong one.
got it.
Yeah, I was going to say
There
New
you go.
York Giants, but I
Yeah.
thought that'd be too easy.
I got 4 and 5, right?
There you go.
Yo, someone
Whoa,
got 10.
when
though.
did the Jets sneak to 6? Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. Dallas Cowboys, $10 billion. The Washington went for $6 billion. And that was the most expensive team bought in the Super Bowl era. And here they are. If the Cowboys ever go for sale, they'll go more than 10. They'll probably go for $12 billion if he ever sold them.
Look at
Which
the
he won't.
look at the markets, guys.
Yep.
California.
New York, LA, 1 and 2. Chicago is number 3. I'm talking about media markets in the country.
Yeah, it's San Fran.
Philadelphia,
Dallas.
Dallas,
Washington.
Oakland, San Francisco area.
Where the people are at.
It's all the top markets in the country except Las Vegas.
This is going to be very interesting because
Vegas is coming up, though.
this is going to change. And I was just about to say, this is going to change because even though the Patriots, I'm not the Patriots, but the Chiefs are going to win again probably, the 49ers and the Eagles can make a big jump.
This is basically showing that the NFC East is the most valuable division in all of sports.
Hands down.
Well,
Good
because the
call.
NFC East is where all the people are. I'm just looking at the Nielsen designated market areas. That's DMAs right now. New York is 1. LA is 2. Chicago is 3. Philadelphia is 4. Dallas is 5.
Yeah.
All those teams are on there.
Why don't we have a Big Ten team in Dallas? That's the only one missing
Yeah.
out of those 5
Big
that you
12
just
country.
said.
There you go.
Big 12 and now
SEC.
SEC.
All top 5 media markets
Yep.
in the country right there.
That's why SEC wanted Texas, and that's why SEC wanted Texas A&M in Texas and
Dallas.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They,
Dallas
they're
market.
not stupid. They said, well,
Right.
we can't get New York and Cali, but we can get Texas, and
Right.
they have it.
Hey, here's a name from the past, Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh,
The
Mississippi
Ravens
State.
have brought him in for a visit. So the Ravens looking to stockpile some, I don't know how many plays he could give them, but Jadeveon Clowney, what do you think about him moving forward, Bray?
Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, number 1 overall pick in 2014. I want to say everybody remembers that hit for Gerald Toussaint in Michigan. But with that being said, he's still a guy that can play. Like 2 years ago, he still had a really good year. I think I want to say he had 9 to 10 sacks 2 years ago, playing opposite of Myles Garrett in Cleveland. So it's for the right price. I mean, and now the Ravens are kind of trying to do what the Eagles did last year. They're implementing the Eagles.
Plug and play.
Keep adding players to the defense. Keep adding wide receivers. You added Odell Beckham. Now you add Jadeveon Clowney. You see what they did last year. Reuben Foster, a linebacker. So the Ravens are trying to make their run because they know they know that in Cincinnati they got a team that they're going to have to play against. So
Every time you say Jadeveon Clowney, I can't help but think about Merrill Hodge and his assessment of Jadeveon Clowney and Khalil Mack.
He killed it.
And how, I think it was, I don't know if it was Susie Colbert or Hannah Storm or whoever was the host was like, what are you talking about? Like, essentially, like, no.
Yeah.
Like, but all of these general managers,
they can't be wrong.
They can't be wrong.
Well,
Okay? You know, that's the worst, when your argument cannot be proved until some years
later.
down the road.
And he's off the network.
Yeah, you just sit there and take all this incoming for years, and then you're right one day. Nobody cares.
The big thing,
we do.
Right, we do. But
think about like Jadeveon Clowney and like where Merrill Harris was right from jump and he got it was like Jadeveon was, even though he played all his games, he was one of the first kind of college players that knew he was going number one and didn't want to play that season. Like he didn't play that season, and then some other things came up. You can start to see the pattern. You can start to see the trend. And this was 2014 when nobody knew about this type of thing. So Merrill Harris saw it then.
Guys, a couple of different things in the NFL. An NFL executive calls one current head coach one of the worst coaches currently in the game right now. Who is that? We do name him. But first, a message from Planet Fitness. Also, I got to get a Michigan topic in here. I need some help.
And don't forget ESPN. It's got themselves a little betting platform.
Lots to get to. Planet Fitness.
First, a message from Planet Fitness, because summertime is a great time to join Planet Fitness and beat low E. At Planet Fitness, this is a home of your judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. Now, no matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by with more than 50 convenient locations around the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, gang, how would you like to play golf like a celebrity, just like Braylon and D-Mac and Jim Harbaugh? You can do it thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and us here at Woodward Sports. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice. Make sure you pay attention to Woodward Sports for more of the details.
One NFL executive says that Brandon Staley is a really bad coach. And here's the quote. They just paid that quarterback, and if they don't win now, Justin Herbert isn't getting any younger. It blows my mind that they don't win If Jerry Jones had Justin Herbert, that head coach would have been fired 2 years ago, guaranteed. And that's from an unnamed NFL executive. He told Matthew Lombardi, that is my guy. I love Matthew Lombardi. I don't think there's anybody smarter at this stuff than Lombardi. Love that guy. And he's right. He's right. If Jerry Jones had Justin Herbert, coach would have been out of there 2 years ago. And that is why nobody picks the Chargers to be any good whatsoever, is because that head coach sucks.
Yeah, I pointed out that I don't like Brandon Staley for the better part of 2 years. Like, I do not like him. I think he causes the Chargers to lose games. They got rid of the wrong offensive coordinator 4 or 5 years ago with Justin Herbert, the one that he had 5,000 yards with. But with that being said, we'll see. Like, no one trusts the Chargers, and you shouldn't. Like, there's no reason that you have one of the best safeties in the game, one of the best rush ends in the game, another one of the best rush ends in the game. You know, let me say their names so it makes more sense. There's no reason why you have Derwin James, J.C. Jackson, who was injured, we understand that, but then you also Khalil Mack, then also Joey Bosa, then also Keenan Allen, then also Mike Williams, then also Austin Eckler, and the list goes on of players, Rashawn Slater, players that you've had the last 4 or 5 years, and you can't win games, not even winning the playoffs, where you clearly gave up a 28-0 lead to Trevor Lawrence. But it's just games in the regular season. They don't win the big games in the regular season. They don't win the primetime games. Always something that happens in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the game to cost them. And usually, you know who it is? It's Brandon Staley, the head coach. I'm telling you, he's not going to be there. What was my prediction last year? What's my prediction this year? Ben Johnson will be the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. I could be wrong.
Unless he doesn't want to be the head coach of the Chargers.
He's an offensive coordinator.
Who wouldn't want to be?
He's an offensive coordinator of a team that has been talked about, at least for the last year, of him being an offensive coordinator, being dominant on offense. And they're expected to have another dominant year. Nobody's going to continue to be the offensive coordinator if they don't have to be.
But going from the Ford family to the Spanos family, you might be right.
Well, I'm just thinking about the Mannings. You know, maybe you know, Justin Herbert aside, maybe that organization is just a bad organization.
Well, they run it poorly.
They have no fan base. They charge. Don't they charge their players for lunch and at the dining hall?
That's Arizona.
That's Arizona.
There's a few others. They might.
But the Chargers are notoriously one of the worst organizations in sports.
Never should have left San Diego.
I mean, the quarterback is like putting lipstick on a pig. You know what I mean? Just having a quarterback there. So we'll see. I mean, if you could coach Caleb Williams in Washington or Tampa or whoever gets Caleb Williams or the #1 pick, you know, I don't know.
But Chargers are a good organization. They're just horribly owned and run. Like, at the end of the day, they get good players. They pay their players handsomely. They just have terrible ownership with the Spanos family. But with the Arizona Cardinals, we know what's going to happen with Caleb Williams. He's going to the Cardinals next year. They'll have the #1 pick. They'll draft him. They have Houston's pick, so they'll pick up Marvin Harrison out of Ohio State. And then they'll get rid of Kyler Murray, 4 more draft picks. So
that is amazing,
Arizona
man.
Cardinals are going to crush it next year. They're going to go from complete butt for 3 years in a row to they're going to be a competitor starting next season. I promise
That'll
you that.
be 2 #1 quarterbacks that they gave away.
Oh,
Josh
right.
Rosen and then Kyler Murray, if that does happen.
Hey, by the way, to follow up on a story mentioning Washington that we just did, following up on a story yesterday, Ron Rivera said, I put my foot in my mouth when it came to the Eric Bieniemy comments, totally walking that back.
As
and
I told you, he
apologizing.
was dumb.
Yeah.
Saying that. Hey, a couple of guys that were going to sign with the Saints yesterday, I told you, it didn't happen. Kareem Hunt, Anthony Barr, they left. Matter of fact, Kareem Hunt was about to sign a contract, and his agent said, look, get the hell out of there. Indy wants to pay you more money. He took a plane and went to Indianapolis. Hasn't signed yet. Anthony Barr, not sure about him, but they did not sign with the Saints yesterday. See, just a split second, your agent calls you and say, hey, get out of there.
That's an interesting decision, too, because if you're Kareem Hunt, you're like crowded backfield. Kamara will come back, but you should win that division, I would think. I mean, they're the favorites to win that division. At the very least, you're the favorite to win the division. Or you can go to Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson, a rookie quarterback. Jonathan Taylor is out right now. You're not expected to do much this year. A couple extra bucks. Man, give me the frickin' Saints situation.
Well, look how short these guys'
I
careers
know,
are, especially
I know.
running
It's
backs.
Just depends
Take
how
the
much money that is. I know.
Take the money.
You're right.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a tough situation, though, man. You got
tough.
Kareem Hunt made a lot of money already, too. So
Yeah, but
like,
he might have spent
He's
it.
made some. He's made some. At the end of the day, it's a tough decision, especially at that running back position. Tough decision at that position, but I'm going for the opportunity where I can do the most. You know, and I think it might be the coach for him.
Last thing on around the NFL,
Maybe, I
guys.
don't know.
Henry
I go to the
Ruggs.
Saints.
We all know the disaster that happened to him 20 months ago, that he was speeding in his Corvette on a Las Vegas strip, and he run into a car, and the cost a woman and her dog their life. They burned to death. He was sentenced today. He was very apologetic to the court. 3 to 7 years for Henry Ruggs.
You mentioned the dog too. That kind of threw me, but I think he'll get time served, and I think he'll do 3. He's been there. You said 20 months. So what is he looking at?
Well, he's been free for 20 months.
So he hasn't been serving. No. I thought he was gonna do time served. That sucks. Go from a free man to a
Is it minimum 3 or could he get like good behavior?
That's minimum 3.
That's 3 to 7 years.
Okay, well hopefully he does the minimum. I hate these stories because
there's no winner.
There's no winner. The young lady doesn't get to come back.
No.
Her family doesn't get to come back.
No,
but
just
it doesn't mean you ruin multiple lives. You know what I mean? Let the young man, I don't know, try to rectify his life, and hopefully he gets a chance to do that in 3 years.
Yeah, I mean that's
right. I mean, what else are you gonna say?
What a way to go from a number 1 draft pick
it's a
to
terrible
driving
situation.
your car in Vegas, and now you're going to jail.
Terrible situation.
Dante Stallworth was a friend of mine that dealt with that same situation, but he turned his life around after the incident. So you just hope that he does the same.
No doubt about it. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Pat Riley talks about Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Many people are seeing this as a shot to LeBron James. We'll see what you guys think. And I have a Michigan football-related question I need your help with. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register for your chance to win not 1 but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford, Buick, GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars. 1 for you, your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. All you have to do is get your hair cut at any Lady Jane's in the country. You'll be automatically entered. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You could walk in at any time. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights. Live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy Drink It and Live It. Purchase 24-pack today and enter to win the $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy your Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best versions of themselves. That website again, drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Guys, just a quick thing on Michigan football. I came in, I'm trying to drum up some excitement for Michigan right now. And every time I try to drum, and it's my own fault, every time I try to drum up some excitement for it, I just fall flat.
How about the video boards?
It's very exciting. Hey, video boards. Big team, you know what I mean? System? I mean, it's great. Like, the experience will be enhanced, but again, they don't play anybody for the first 5 weeks of the season. You know, when they play at Nebraska, which will be the first true road test in the Big Ten. I mean, you sleepwalk through the season. Not that I think they should do it any differently, but man, it's just they're so good now. Their season comes down to a couple of games.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, look, I'm enjoying the ride. Like, I remember betting on every Michigan game after I left Michigan and losing a lot. You know, I remember.
I'm glad you
Michigan,
said after you left Michigan.
I didn't bet in college.
I'm kidding.
Bet in college. But yeah, I just remember like losing a lot. I remember being laughed at a lot. I remember being talked about a lot. I remember watching them being embarrassed a lot. So the fact that Michigan is not playing anybody, which they aren't. But the fact that they are what they are, the fact that they are nationally what they are once again, I'm gonna enjoy it. So if I gotta watch them beat somebody at UNLV 59-6, so be it. I'm here for it.
I mean, it's great.
Because I know what's gonna happen next year.
Yeah, right.
I got some scary news for you, though.
What?
What's scary?
R.J. Young has picked Michigan number 2
Ooh, look
in his
at that.
top 25 poll from Fox. Last year, he had him out of his top 25. He had Michigan State number 7. So R.J. Young has Michigan at number 2.
Not necessarily bad news because Michigan didn't win a semifinal game last year, nor did they get the national championship. So maybe him picking us a little higher this year maybe gives that extra boost, if you will.
I'd rather be in this position than the one we were in for several years before Jim Harbaugh got to Ann Arbor, but neither here nor there. Just wanted to see what the people thought about that. Prop Do, I see you over there in the Woodward Sports chat. I appreciate your support there. I hear you, Ryan, having the same problem. Yeah, it's crazy. Now we complain that we're doing so much winning. Oh, we're so sick and tired of winning. It's so funny. That's a joke kind of reference.
I know.
Guys, LeBron James in the news, Dwayne Wade in the news, and Pat Riley in the news because Pat Riley had an interview with Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, and here's the quote: "As a Heat player, Dwayne is the greatest player ever to wear the uniform. LeBron James was here for 4 years and gave us a tremendous lift and helped Dwayne achieve what he wanted to achieve. But over the body of work here in Miami, Dwayne is the greatest player who ever played for the Heat. That's not an insult to LeBron. That's because of his longevity and the short term LeBron was here. Fair or foul?"
That's fair. I mean, you look at it from this standpoint. Dwayne Wade, 13 Pro Bowls, 13 All-Star games, 3 NBA championships, and 1 NBA finals MVP. LeBron, 4 years, 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs. It's not about who's a better player. Pat Riley's no idiot. Pat Riley has coached great players along the way, every step, whether it was Miami, whether it was New York, whether it was Los Angeles, whether it was when he was a player. He knows talent. He knows who's the best. But when talking about what Dwayne Wade did for the Miami Heat, he put that franchise back on the map with he and Shaq and started something that didn't stop until after LeBron jumped on the ship and then left the ship to go back to Cleveland. So in terms of just Miami, D-Wade is Wade County. It's the reason why they call it Wade County. And he is the best player to ever play for the Miami Heat. Now, best player, D-Wade ain't LeBron. D-Wade ain't Shaq. If you want to go there, right? D-Wade's not Shaq. But in terms of just the Miami Heat, what are we talking about? Yeah, that's my fault. That's how I took it. You saw it as a little bit of LeBron slight.
Anytime
I mean,
LeBron's
I don't know how
name
you.
is in there.
I don't
He
know
doesn't
how
like.
you,
I mean,
you know, Pat Riley. Pat Riley cannot like LeBron James.
LeBron tried to tell Pat Riley to fire Eric Spoelstra.
Right. It's just not gonna happen. You know. I mean, Pat Riley's one of those old school guys. You ain't gonna tell him what to do.
But also, with Pat Riley, what team and franchise did he put on the map first? It's the Los Angeles Lakers and Magic Johnson and Cap. Where's LeBron James at right now? It's the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm the new Laker. I guarantee a little bit is that too. Like Pat Riley doesn't see him as a real Laker.
Right.
Doesn't see him as a real Miami Heat guy.
I don't see him as a real Laker either.
He's not.
Yeah, I don't see him as a real Laker.
Do you see him
either.
as a Heat?
I don't see him as I see him as more of a Heat guy than a Laker guy.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And then I see him more as a Cav.
He's a Cavs
than anything
guy.
else. I feel like the 4 years in Miami was like his college.
It was.
You know, he never went away to college. That was like his college.
He got 2 rings while he was doing it. I mean, hell. He's had a great career, but I understand with Pat Riley. There's a little slight there. There's a little bit.
Hey, Mavs, are the Tigers going to win the next 2 games now against the Twins to get me back in?
I'm not sure. I really don't care. They did win last night 6-0.
Yes.
2 hits from Miguel Cabrera. 2 big hits. 31-41 which passed Tony Gwynn. And then this one, Johnny Kane from the audience took this one, 31-42, to tie Robin Yount for 19th overall on the Major League Hit Parade.
Robin Yount could play.
3,142 hits for Miguel Cabrera. And like I said the other day, he's playing better. He's looking good. Maybe he could finish like Albert Pujols finished a little bit. It wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, That's all I got to say.
Pujols had like 15 home runs in the second half of the season.
I get it.
The second half
well,
of the
maybe he's
season.
going to juice up now like Pujols did.
Oh, you're right, though.
No, Albert's phenomenal.
Albert's a phenomenal guy.
He is.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
So congratulations to Mickey. And the Tigers are now 9 games out, 13 games under
Can I get to
500.
7?
Can you get to 7? Sure.
Can you get to 7?
They can win the next 2 and get to 7.
Be nice.
Why the heck not?
Then you can get to 5 in a couple of days when you play them in Minnesota.
Then we'll be back right
then
back.
Then they get to 0 then. Why not? Let's go for it.
Oh, gosh. Like Miguel Cabrera, like these numbers just I just don't feel as a Detroit fan an emotional connection to him.
I get it.
I've said it before. And it's not about the interviews or the lack of interviews. Shohei Ohtani doesn't do interviews either. But I just don't feel that emotional attachment to him because to me, and I've said this before, there are no moments. Every moment was a milestone. Like, walking off the field in Kansas City or 500 runs or 3,000 hits. There wasn't like, and you can go back to one at-bat against Mariano Rivera.
I watched it today.
I know you did. That's why I'm thinking about it. Like, one at-bat against Mariano
17
Rivera.
pitches.
What is the moment? What was the postseason moment that you remember from Miguel Cabrera? They did make the postseason many years that he was around. What was the feel? Because of I feel almost. And now maybe this is not fair because I know him and like you have a personal connection, but I feel that Darren McCarty is almost more beloved than Miguel Cabrera.
He's got
because
4 Stanley Cups.
Again, those moments, a goal, the fights,
right.
Those moments that you will never forget. What are those moments for Miguel Cabrera?
He doesn't have any individual moments, and a lot of those moments that you talk about, those come in championship pursuit. They come in championship games. They come from 4 Stanley Cups.
They were
for
chasing
him.
championships.
But that's why I was going to go back to what Miguel had. He doesn't have those moments in which he hit the home run to go to the World Series. Who hit that home run against the A's? Maglio hits against the A's. Yeah, that wasn't his moment. So to your point, if he would have had that home run, that would have been his moment. That was something you remember.
He wasn't with the team yet. He was in 08 he came.
But I'm just saying in terms of the moments like that. But I'm saying also, what he does have though? He does have that chase of the Triple Crown. And being here in Detroit and watching that Triple Crown pursuit and how well he was hitting the ball in the final, he was actually a better hitter the following year. But he got hurt and nobody knew that he played that whole season injured. It's more individual, if you will. But baseball is an individual sport, and I feel like if you go back and watch Miguel's career, once they show it, I think you'll find some things in there. I think you will.
I mean, I searched for postseason.
Yeah.
I think the lack of postseason success for me, and they did have many years in there, was just really,
06 to 14.
He was just an 8-year essentially playoff run.
Yeah.
But baseball is like the only sport where individual.
Really, it's 6 years for him because I think he was 08 to 14. Yeah.
Like baseball is the only sport though where it's individual. There's a lot of guys that haven't won World Series and there haven't been knocks on their names or hasn't taken them down a peg. Ted Williams, arguably greatest hitter of all time, he has no World Series win. So I think baseball, his legacy will survive because it's baseball. But if it was another sport, you got to have a championship in all the other sports now.
Yeah. I understand that. Guys, we're going to take a break. This is a very special day in the world of sports, in the history of sports. Do you know what happened on this day in the 1980s?
What sport was it?
Ooh, but first a message from Big Boy.
All right, it's Strawberry Fest continuing this summer at Big Boy. Start your day off with a great breakfast. How about the strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffles? Or if your brunch is more for you, the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or the summer splash salad, very refreshing. Keep you light. so you can have dessert. The strawberry, the classic strawberry pie, the deep fried vanilla Oreo, or the strawberry hot fudge cake. Plus, you can just order a Big Boy at your local Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Yeah, join us this Friday at Dispo in Hazel Park, one of their 12 locations located around the state of Michigan. 21 and up, and they do have the best brands and the best people serving you. Come in and get the best cannabis. They are your local plug. We have a good time every time we go out there because they got the best stuff. So come down, hang out with us on Friday. We will be down there. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Let's see if we can get to over 150 likes by the end of the live show. That would be awesome.
That would be.
Helps YouTube get our content out to more people, so we appreciate it. Tom Mazawey, what is happening with ESPN?
ESPN, you knew it was going to happen eventually. They are now in the sports betting business. Yes, they are teaming up with Penn National, who was teamed up with Barstool Sports, if you remember. But that's a whole new thing. ESPN, Ryan, it's ESPN bets, man.
Yeah, you know, there has to be some concern about this. And again, Bray, you're shaking your head over here. I'll give you the first crack at this.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just in the sense that there has to be some concern because I just remember where ESPN got me excited when I was in high school. When I was younger, like I would watch everything they did. I would try to see, and I got to college, same, you know, and the kids are doing the same thing. I think this is going to lead to more sports betting, but at earlier ages. I mean, you're going to have kids that are 15, 16 trying to find ways to bet on their parents' phone. They probably already have their parents' credit card connected to their phone anyway, so they're going to go on there and start making bets. And then what is that going to do to when they're trying to get eligibility to go to University of Michigan or go to Georgia or go to Alabama? Like, this is going to interfere with the process. When you put it on ESPN, I promise you, and this is, you can say, well, it's up to the parents, well, it's up to this. You got grown men in the NFL who can't seem to decipher between the lines because the NFL has made it so ridiculously hard on what's the process is. I think this is going to get some high school kids in trouble. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not.
I think this is going to get a lot of kids in trouble, a lot of grown-ups in trouble. I think it's just going to get a lot of people in trouble. I wish, you know, look, the almighty dollar is nobody cares about you anymore. Athletes don't care about you. Owners don't care about you. Teams don't care about you. Performers don't care about you. 9 times out of 10, unless you got a really great boss, bosses don't care about you at your job.
They don't.
You're just trying to make the most money you possibly can, trying to squeeze the most money out of you that they possibly can. And then if you don't do it, they're going to throw you away for somebody else that will do it.
Yeah.
And this is a situation where you go to these, you know, these gambling companies that just without any proper education, like, you know, there's no education on this stuff. I'm sad for families and kids that are really going to get into this and not know how to deal with losing money that they don't have, and then everything goes down from here. This is the new social media. This is the new social media has become a depression for young girls and boys, but my young girls. The sports betting will become the next wave of depression for young boys, in my opinion.
You know what else it is too, though, is the bigger problem too is everything on your phone, everything on, you know, the PS5 or the Xbox, whatever. Like, it's a game. Like it's like a game. And the problem is, even though it's not a game, losing money is not a game, winning money is not a game, it's going to be seen as a game. Like, oh, if I click this and I pick the Tigers and I pick the Royals and I pick the Orioles, well, one, you lose that parlay. But if I pick that, boom, I can make some money. And then you start to keep doing that and keep doing that. It's just like when those, what are the free games called? What were the free games called, Parker or JB? Like, you download them for free, but then you got to pay for all. Exactly.
A what?
It's a gotcha game.
Oh.
The gotcha games, I think it was another name for them, but basically he's right. You download the games are free. But then when you start adding the different coins or different packages to play a little longer, you start putting money in, and then the kids don't realize it until they look up. And their parents like, yo, where the hell you spend $1,200 for some free game?
Crow.
That's going to start happening with gambling as well.
I had a friend had
100%.
Hey, put up the Dave Portnoy tweet. This Dave Portnoy who owns Barstool, basically.
Now he does own Barstool again.
He bought it back for $0 from Penn National because he was teamed with Penn National in the gaming, in the sports betting. So now that ESPN is taking Penn National off his hands, he made a deal to take back Barstool Sports on his own. So he's got his own sports book. The only thing that Penn can do is if he sells it, they get 50% of what he sells. And what did he say up there, Ryan?
I'm never going to sell, ever. And yeah, now
famous last words.
Right, well, yeah, I mean, it's like, why sell if you got to give half the profit away? So he probably never will sell it. But
people need money, you sell.
Yeah, he gave away, a lot of future financial earnings because of this. So that's why he gets it back for kind of nothing, because he gave up so much on the back end of it. But
my mama told me never say nothing.
Right, amen.
never
and
say
Mama
nothing.
was right.
Never say nothing.
Mavs, now is today your day? Is that it for you?
Yeah, this is it. I'm going to have a week off. I'm going to go home, visit my family in New Jersey. Before I do, I bid you adieu with this little ditty from this day in sports, 1988.
Ooh, Peter Pocklington.
That the Edmonton Oilers have agreed to trade Wayne Gretzky to Los Angeles.
I'm disappointed about having to leave Edmonton. I truly admire all the fans and respect everyone over the years. But as I said, there comes a time when
he couldn't even finish.
Back when sports was great.
Yep. I was at the Jersey Shore that day. I'll never forget. I was in the hotel room just unpacking, and I put on the TV just for background noise, and that popped on, and my jaw dropped. And that's the day that really hockey was reborn, because he took it to LA, and from there went down south, right, to Florida. And all these Sun Belt cities, Arizona, getting teams, Vegas now. It's from Wayne Gretzky going to play for the LA Kings. Otherwise, there's no Tampa Bay Lightning or Florida Panthers or Arizona Coyotes or Vegas Knights without Wayne Gretzky.
And with that, a 30 for 30 was born.
He was
King's
almost a
Ransom.
Wayne.
King's Ransom.
It was the very first one. I would say that when I was looking at it back then, I thought, this is a crazy move. I hate these owners and what they do and blah, blah, blah. Then you look back, I'm 40 years old, and I understand the nature of the business and what it did. Gretzky only won one more Stanley Cup after this, I do believe. So you're looking at it from that standpoint. The owner of the,
I don't think he won again, did he?
No, he got there. No, he did win.
He got
one.
it there in L.A., but I don't know if he won.
They lost to Montreal in 93.
He lost L.A., lost in New York, too, I think.
I don't remember if he made it with the
Anyway,
Rangers.
at the end of the day, they didn't win again, and they made more money than he ever made with the Edmonton Oilers, the owner. And then, like you said, the expansion of the league, the San Jose Sharks, the Anaheim Ducks, and all that happens after that. It all happens because of Gretzky. So it sucked at the time, but it was for the betterment of the league.
The thing is, one crook, Peter Pocklington, sold Gretzky off to another crook in Bruce McNall If you remember Bruce McDowell.
L.A. Kings.
He went
Sterling
to jail.
was a part of that somehow.
He went to jail.
Unbelievable.
And Donald Sterling was a part of that too.
Hey, Bray, what do you say we let Maz close us out today? We'll see you next Thursday, Maz, or Wednesday, or what? Thursday?
I would have made him work harder yesterday if I knew he was leaving for a week. I was messing with
Hey,
you.
guys, we'll see you. I'll see you next Thursday, but you'll see these guys tomorrow. Ermanni, Edwards, of course, Parker and JB on Woodward Sports. We got plenty more coming up. More Lions tomorrow. Mike O'Hara said he's going to join the show tomorrow. So I know you guys love to hear from Mo. So with that, I bid you guys adieu. It's Maz from my boys, Ermanni, Edwards, and the crew. See ya.